All right, let's get right into it. We're about to tackle one of the most raw, unfiltered guides to leadership ever written, all based on Ben Horowitz's legendary book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. So if you're looking for easy answers, you're in the wrong place. We're jumping straight into the fire.
You know the ones I'm talking about, right? They promise you these neat step-by-step formulas, a secret recipe for success. But in reality, they feel like they were written in a totally different universe than the one we actually work in.
And that's the million-dollar question. What happens when the playbook runs out? When you're staring at a problem that isn't in any textbook, and every single choice you have looks, well, bad. That's where real leadership begins.
So for this explainer, we're pulling from the absolutely brilliant summary over at learnedx.org. They've taken Horowitz's hard-hitting, unfiltered advice and distilled it into some seriously powerful insights. So let's get to the good stuff.
Every founder, every leader, heck, anyone who's ever tried to build something from scratch knows this feeling. Horowitz actually gave it a name, and it is brutally perfect. He calls it the struggle.
Now, this isn't just, a tough week or a bad quarter. The struggle is that pit in your stomach when you start to question why you ever started this in the first place. It's when the weight of it all feels like it's going to crush you. It's the dark side of ambition that we're often too scared to talk about.
But here's the thing you have to remember. The struggle isn't a sign that you're failing. It's actually a sign that you're in the game. It's the very thing that forges character and separates the good from the truly great. It's not about avoiding it. It's about learning how to get through it. So how do you actually survive it? Well, it all comes down to your mindset and what you do next. First, you've got to fight that urge to go it alone. Share the burden, get more people thinking about the problem. And then, and this is huge, you have to remember, there is always a move. Always. No matter how hopeless it feels, your job is to find that next move and not get paralyzed by taking the failure personally.
Getting through the struggle often means you have to totally change your leadership style. And that brings us to one of Horowitz's most famous ideas, knowing whether you're leading in peacetime or in wartime.
And the difference is just night and day. A peacetime CEO gets to focus on the big picture, defining the culture, and keeping things running smoothly. But a wartime CEO? They're fighting for survival. Culture is defined by the war itself. They don't have time to minimize conflict. They actually heighten it to force a clear decision. And they're not just looking at the big picture. They are obsessed with every tiny detail, down to, as he says, a speck of dust on a gnat's ass, because any one of those details could sink the ship.
And that's really the heart of it. It's a gambling term, right? Rolling a hard 6 means you have to get 2 3s. It's a specific, difficult outcome you have to achieve. A wartime CEO knows that sometimes you just have to make that risky, high-stakes call because survival is the only thing that matters.
That wartime mentality, it leads directly to another core idea. You have to be radically, brutally honest. When you're in a crisis, sugarcoating things or hiding the truth is just about the worst thing you can do. And there's no better example of this than layoffs. Most people think it's all about managing the exit for the people who are leaving. Horowitz flips that completely on its head. He says the most important audience isn't the people leaving, it's the team that's still there. Their trust in you and the company's future is hanging by a thread. His process is all about ownership and respect. First, you have to get your own head on straight, focus on the future. Then you move fast. Don't let rumors fester. Be crystal clear. The company failed here, not the people being let go. You have to train your managers to deliver the news, but then the CEO, you, must stand up in front of the whole company and own it. And most important of all, be visible. Don't hide in your office. Show up. It's the only way to start rebuilding trust. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that those simple, clean formulas for success are basically a myth. Real leadership is messy, it's painful, and it's defined by how you show up in those absolute worst moments. And that brings us right back to where we started. This is the core truth of it all. Greatness isn't something you achieve by avoiding the hard stuff, it's forged in the hard stuff. You have to embrace the struggle, because that pain actually has a purpose. It's the process. But just knowing the pain has a purpose isn't enough, right? You need the tools to navigate it. And that kind of practical, battle-tested wisdom is exactly what the library at learner.org is filled with. They don't just give you a summary. They pull out the essential insights that you can actually use when things get tough. So you can go way beyond just this one book. Think about it. You can build a whole leadership toolkit. You can grab the intense discipline from extreme ownership, the resilience from grit, the strategic thinking from 0 to 1. Learnerd gives you the core, game-changing ideas from all these world-class books, and it gives them to you fast.
So I guess the real question for you is, what's your struggle right now? What's that hard problem sitting in front of you? Because the answer, that next move, it's out there, and it might just be waiting for you to find it.